Okay. Gentlemen, Vicky's at the controls tonight, so if you just pause a little bit, give Vicky a chance to get your mic going. And,
Actually, you can press your own button.
Yeah, you can push your button.
okay,
So you make sure you press the button.
it says active. Hello? Yep, we're good. Okay, so we'll come to order and start with an invocation and pledge. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day and the opportunity to gather here. And we ask that you keep us mindful of your presence as we go about our business. And this we ask in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right. Vicki, if you'd please call roll.
Ernie Donovan,
Here.
Bobby Bortel,
Here.
Matt Benoit,
Here.
Jeff W., Brian Pledger, Jan Rogers,
Here.
Barry Studier, Mickey Thompson.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, our first order of business are the minutes from March 3rd.
Move, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Jan, second by Bobby. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Our next item on the agenda are going to be the permit applications. Mr. Black, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a local concern, and I'm going to get past this first page. It is about a 56-acre dirt pit off of Aragon Road, about 4.4 miles south of Klondike Road. There's an existing dirt pit in operation right there. The applicant had a JD done, and there are several. Can y'all see that? Yeah, y'all can see this. There are several little areas on. Y'all got the same thing on your monitor?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. As a matter of fact, so do I. Several newfangled stuff. Several areas of the site that are wetlands, and those have been so noted. It's a little better picture of those wetland areas. This is all what's called palustrine emergent vegetation areas. This is the detail of the borrow pit. It had to be changed because they didn't have the proper slope to it, but that's been corrected. So let me run back to the beginning. What I'm recommending here on this site is a local coastal use permit, because it is a local concern, conditioned upon the purchase of mitigation credits, which would be determined, and I'm in contact with the Office of Coastal Management, and I should have that information by tomorrow. The applicant is well aware that there will be mitigation credits purchased for this. So they'll find out later this week how much that is. We'll all find out. So I'm recommending LCUP conditioned on the purchase of mitigation credits, which are to be determined.
Who owns the property?
Well, the applicant, who owns the property? R&A Roth Properties LLC owns it.
They own the property?
I think so, yeah. They're the applicant. There's an agent involved, a engineering company or an environmental company that filled out the application for them. Been out to the site. It's unfortunate. It's really, really nice land, but you know, there's so much levee construction going on in the parish, and so many lifts have to be made. They need dirt. It's coming out of a big site. The way it is.
What about the setback from the residences?
Well, it's set back far enough, which shouldn't present any problems to anybody. But you're bringing up a point that we're gonna discuss later in the, agenda about the dirt pit, the borrow pit regulations that the planning commission will deal with at its meeting this month. I'll be there at that meeting.
So what action you need from us, Mark?
Just, the LCUP conditioned upon purchase of the mitigation credits, which are to be determined.
Making a motion.
Yeah, I make a motion upon the conditions stated.
Okay, motion by Ernie,
I'll second.
second by Bobby. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Okay, sir.
We don't have any state concerns. And, well, that's it. No state concerns, Mr. Chairman. That's all I have.
All right, Ernie, subcommittee reports?
Committee did not meet in March, and the next meeting will be to be determined as needed.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Black.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've tried to shorten this a little bit, change the format up a bit. On page 2, projects in engineering and design, this increase of Chapel flow to Terrebonne. CPRA is going to make a decision on that project probably in June when they review the 30% design submittal. We'll know what's going to happen to that project at that time. The CPRA project manager at the meeting we had in Morgan City learned about some things that we're doing here in Terrebonne that could have impacts on that project. So she requested from the engineering company additional information on locations, capacities, operational plans, and any associated design or modeling reports for pump stations in Terrebonne Parish that were mentioned at that stakeholder meeting, and there are several of them. Those have to be figured into their modeling, and that has not been done. So we'll see what happens with that. On a little further down, the Bay Rockasee Marsh Creation and Ridge Restoration is TE 156. Skip one and go down to TE 166. Those two projects are right next to each other and should be taken together. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service hopes to have the 30% design meeting before the end of May, with the 95% design meeting, and that's for both of them, in early October. It's been my experience that they don't always meet those deadlines, but that's okay. So what they're going to do is they're going to submit everything at once. There'll be 2 WVAs, 2 sets of plans in the same report, since these projects are adjacent to each other. And some good news about this is Todd Baker, who used to be with Wildlife and Fisheries, is now with CPRA, and he's the project manager on both of these. On page 3, we did get the 3-year time extension, no cost, 3-year time extension for the Coastal Workforce Development program at Fletcher. And I hope they can get this thing up and running by the fall semester. On the bottom of page 3, projects heading to bid. This TE 139, that's a Bayou Terrebonne Ridge and Marsh Creation project on Lower Terrebonne Bayou. This project was supposed to go to bid in December, and it didn't make it because of some holdup, some ongoing negotiations with 3 property owners. Despite what I've heard from CPRA, I don't think they're ready to go to bid on that. I don't think they've come to any conclusion with the property owners. That's still being negotiated. But anyway, the permits and funding are in place to move forward whenever they can do that. On page 5, coastal use permits for the month of March. 10 permits, state concerns, collected $6,600. 1 local concern, collected 1,000. 11 permits for the month, we collected 7,600. It makes 14,700 for the year. We've had much better years, as I'm sure you're aware. The field inspections, we did 2 last month, one 2521 Brady Road. Even though it's upland, I recommended to the property owner that they submit a coastal use permit application. Just recommend it. If they do it, fine. If they don't, it's on them. 805 Dunn Street, they want to put in a bulkhead. As a matter of fact, they some work to do that, and they blocked off a drainage culvert. Well, that got fixed, but the a letter, and that letter's in your packet, was sent to the agent for the River Point LLC, the property owner, indicating that, guys, you're putting in a bulkhead on the GIWW. You absolutely need to have a coastal use permit for that. So that's in the works. On page 6, on March 21st, 22nd, I participated in that fly-in to Washington called the Shores Fly-In. That's an acronym for sharing offshore revenues from energy sources. The good news is it led to the passage in the House of H.R. 1, which contained the BREEZE Act, which has to do with sharing revenues from offshore wind leases, okay? Of course, that legislation is DOA when it goes to the Senate, but that's all we can do. Tomorrow, in addition to being Gordy's birthday, there's a briefing with CPRS on the long-term recovery plan, and it's a good start they've made on it, but it needs work. So we'll be discussing that. On the 20th of this month, Treasury is holding a town hall, which I'm going to attend, on the new Restore Grant Management System, which is light years ahead of what we used to have to use. I mean, it is so much better. And also on the 20th is the Planning Commission hearing on the Borrow Pit ordinance, and I'll be there for that. So, last page. I think on all our Restore Grant projects, the federal financial and project performance reports are due at the end of this month. And all that can be done through the Restore Grant Management system. So that's all I got, Mr. Chairman.
I just had 2 questions. One was, after that Ports Association deal they had in Homer,
Yeah.
the next morning they had a high river boat for the Corps visit. Did you hear anything out of
I
that?
couldn't.
I know you didn't go to it.
I didn't go to. I'm not sure. I think maybe the parish president may have. Or,
Yeah, he went, but I didn't.
I haven't had a chance to talk to him about it, so I don't know. I know in recent past, you had to fill out a speaker card in advance, or you couldn't get on the boat. But that was COVID type regulations. Maybe that's been relaxed now. I don't know.
I just wondering how that came out. Maybe you could give us a report.
I'll see what I can do.
And then the other question I had, are y'all gonna fly the flags at half staff tomorrow
Oh,
for Gordy's birthday?
I'll run that by Gordy.
Did you bring them up yet? Because they were already at half staff.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I had, Mr. Chair.
Mark, on his report. All right. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. Next item on the agenda are public comments, and we have a speaker card for Mr. Blaine Champagne. Mr. Champagne, would you? We're trying to learn this new technology. Or Vicky is, we're not trying to learn it.
We just got watch the green light.
Yeah.
Gotta press to not speak. Maybe he needs to get it now. Mine wasn't mute.
I got confident. There you go, it's right there. Yes. Good afternoon, guys, ladies.
Welcome.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Blaine A. Champagne. I'm a resident of Terrebonne Parish. I live at 10317 East Park Avenue. That's not far from South Terrebonne. And I'm getting some information that a road is coming right about 20 steps from my property. And that's concerning to me and my wife. I just got some information, and this information is from this department. It's dated 11/28/22, and here we are, April 4th, 23. I didn't receive any information that me and my wife know of. On this application here, or this permit, it's listed as Anthony Champagne. My name is Blaine Anthony Champagne. We got a couple of concerns about the road coming in. One of the big things is behind East Homer School, there used to be a concrete building, business. They had to shut that down, the aggregate, the limestone. There was a male lady, I had her son, James, on my ball club years ago. She has that Shell Road that is now adjoining Shell Company in the back, that road. It just demolished her home, her instinct, every time she would come, she just didn't know how, and she worked for the federal government. She was our postal carrier, good people. I'm stuck in a situation, I'm there about 13 years where I'm at. A few years earlier, I was in Village East, lived the life of hardworking people, 30-year note, met it. I was proud of that. I was excited. The wife and I did it, 3 kids. I was so excited, I went to the courthouse and asked them to show me that it was in records. They told me my mother, my father, her mother, her father. I said, ladies, you're doing a good job, thank you. I don't want to bore y'all with this, guys. I just feel that some questions need to be answered, common question there. DOT is going to be involved. They're stating that potentially dump trucks, it's going to be bigger than dump trucks. It's going to be 18-wheelers. Iron's going to be back there, coming in and out. I don't want to be the bad guy. I'm all for business, okay? This is going to help our district. I am the field director of District 5 Berg Recreation, the new baseball, softball complex. I'm there almost 4 years. I'm reaching out that some questions need to be asked and answered. Wetlands. I'm on a high river there. I'm in Zone C for flood insurance. Way in the back by the Intracoastal is Zone A. To me, that's wetlands. I bought into an estate, that Fairfield Estate. That was on my documentation when we bought the property we built there. So that's residential. Guys, I just need information. I want to be part of the process. And I don't know how far this is. What's the next step? If the council as a whole has to look at this, or y'all make final say. But I just want a fair shake on that. Guys, thank y'all.
Appreciate you coming.
Yes.
Mark, what's the road he's talking about? I was trying to see where it's located on this.
Just right by
It's-
that tree line.
Just right at the tree line, right at drainage ditch. Right
The
at the
one we
drainage
looked
ditch.
at last month, 2 months ago.
Yeah, there was a necessity to connect from the highway to approximately 1,200 feet in a northerly direction to the rest of the road, which would allow access to the Eagle Dock development in the back. There are wetlands on this property. They're so delineated, and they're not doing anything with those wetlands. They know they can't do anything with that. They did a very good delineation map. It's all there. and what you approved actually was that, that little connector road off of Highway 24. So that they'd have access, pardon?
659.
Well, 659, whichever it was. Yeah, it's, anyway. Now, as I told Mr. Champagne earlier, if they are encroaching on his property with the road, I mean, he's got a civil case. We can only go by what was submitted to us in the permit application. But beyond that,
And it came here over the wetlands permit, over that it was crossing wetland?
no, they came here for the little connection. They know that they cannot, they're not doing anything with the wetlands. That's not being developed. They're putting their development actually on the intercoastal. It's a dry dock.
Okay.
So whatever they do is going to be in an upland area, not the wetlands. As a matter of fact, there's wetlands all over this site except where they want to go. So,
Mhm.
You don't know what's that?
No, I mean, I've got a,
I can sketch it to you. Where's that for?
How far is it from their property line?
About 20 steps. The road. It is coming on 659, which is gonna be the main highway. And we had talked to a few council members,
Street line.
you know, when we first got there about lowering the traffic from 55. But when they come off of
Going in the back
Presqu'île,
here.
they hauling towards up the by routes, and they're doing 80.
And you got 45 a
And
little further
coastal.
north than that.
Exactly. So I think the realization would be from South Terrebonne with the new school coming into play, start 45. You know, when they come down to 25, hit the light and keep coming up 45. My concern, why I'm asking about the DOT, and I understand you guys are not DOT, but there's questions that need to be asked, is how big of a turning lane that's gonna be. I'd like to see something like Lafayette Woods, where the traffic pulls in the center to turn, let the traffic flow. Man, that would be good. But that takes some coordination, understanding why, you know, I called for the state myself when I first got there. And the parish to come clean that tree line where everybody fishes. One young lady came. And she says, I see what you're talking about, sir. And I'm not gonna mention a name or nothing. It's for the state to handle that. So I went with my cane knife and I went to work. And I told my wife, when we leave our home in the morning, our kids come, it's going to be clear. We can see up the road. And I did. I started hacking away. That's state property. You know, is it residential property that it was all farmland there that converted into commercial? That's a question I think I need to ask. If so, when Mr. Neal sold the property to some other folks, we had certified letters come to our home. It was changed from farmland or farm to residential. So we was all notified about coming to the meeting. And I told my wife, I said, you know what? I think that'd be a good thing. He would, you know, the owner was gonna make a subdivision there and whatnot. And there is an access road. You can see it at the light that goes to the back. And it's so much closer right there. The building's already back there. You can see the big building. It's straight. It's shorter to go straight and to go around. But anyway, I'm not here to punish anybody, trust me.
But that's not the buildings that they plan on going to with that road. That building's a lot further in the back, is it not?
Sir, I've never been to the intracoastal. I can see it as the trees die off. And that was why I raised the issue about the wetlands. That used to be all cypress right there and heavy oaks.
That building is.
I can count 5 cypress trees there now.
That building is a hayborn.
No, not the ones in the front. Beyond that.
That's,
Robert's house and his
That's-
hayborn.
No, they got
To
the
the
2
south?
barn and the house. You got to look in between the barn and the house. There's drag lines already in place,
Mm.
and buildings already in place.
Okay.
We
I know
need
what
we
you're
need workers, you know, and I want that. but I also want a fair shake. That's what I'm asking.
It's gonna be. Come on. I know where he's talking about exactly, because if you run I mean, I'm sure his property line has a straight line, but it's a pie.
It is a pie.
It's a pie right there at that corner at the ditch.
And many times
and
that's
he-
a right of way for the cattle trucks to come in. And
Right.
me and Mr. Robert, look, I've been cutting that property for 13 years now. Yes, sir. Use it. I'll keep this up. Grandkids, come on. Champ, that's good. Nickname Champ, by the way. Champ, that's good. So the agreement, the partnership is good. And I don't want to avoid that.
And I guess the thing is, you know, you talked about a turn lane. There's no shoulder right there
No,
in
sir.
that curved area to put a
No,
turn lane.
No, that's not.
It would have to be totally
There's a
new. You'd have to
24-inch
bulk in
water
on each
line.
side to lift the road to make a turn lane, if that would even be feasible.
Yeah.
But I see his point, because they're gonna have access to 659 for a road. DOTD's gotta get involved.
Well, I didn't mean to take up y'all time. Y'all most gracious.
No, we appreciate you coming, Mr. Champagne. Thank you.
Yes.
for-
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you.
So if you agree to, Martin, if you agree that DOTD is gonna have to do that, maybe it wouldn't hurt if we wrote them a letter and just
I guess we.
put it
can
on their
do that.
radar.
I know how DOTD operates.
No, I know.
No
Um,
room for 18 wheelers. Make a proper intersection.
Now, you know,
That's
they're
the
gonna
ditch.
do, they're gonna wanna know, they're gonna go do a traffic count.
But
I don't know that the traffic
crossing right here.
going into that site is gonna justify putting anything. So they're not gonna fool with it, okay?
Yeah,
No,
but
no,
what-
you-
also the way DOTD works is
Prop-
they-
solar
they
power, you ain't gonna get
they
that.
start working from the point of complaint, and they accumulate that stuff through time. And the first shot over the bows at least gets it started.
Yeah.
And even if it takes time, at least it puts it on the radar. So then when something else comes up, it's going to be,
Let
like
me,
you said,
Let me prepare a letter for your signature, Mr. Chairman.
that's fine. I don't think it'll hurt anything.
And I would say, Mr. Chairman, if you want, probably, most of the committee members would be willing to sign also.
What?
If you want the committee members to sign, I would imagine, whatever you decide.
Or you
This
could
is fine.
do it by motion, say.
Make it a
Authorizing
resolution.
the chairman to send a letter to DOTD on this matter. And we can, you know, there's a motion, it was approved unanimously or whatever, unanimous second.
You wanna do that?
Yep, motion
I'll
by
make a
Bobby,
motion,
second by Jan.
second, right.
Do a discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mr. Champagne, for coming to talk to us.
Thank you. How am I gonna get more information now? The owner's gonna send me a letter showing the upcoming dates. The DOT's gonna be involved and whatnot, cause I wanna participate.
I'll CC you on the letter.
Is
Send
that
me your name and
enough?
address, and I'll do that. That gets sent to DOT.
Okay, thank you.
No, you have, you'll see when we send it.
Okay.
And once they come, then I'll let you.
Now, I did not reach out to all the neighbors at all on this, and they have no clue. I mean, I don't wanna be the hornet going out there, but, you know, something I think is done correctly or feasible.
All right. No other members of the public are present, so we will move on with committee member comments. We'll just go down the roll. Brian, you have anything? Well, congratulations, first of all.
To share with all of you guys the opportunity for being able to serve here on the Coastal Zone Board. It's given me a light in a different darkness, I guess you can say, learning some things about the board and our coastal zone, which is detrimental to Terrebonne Parish. And hopefully, I'll be able to take what I've garnered, what I've learned, and be able to use that on the council as well. Be able to help, help Terrebonne Parish as a whole, trying to grow, its coastal matters, or understanding it better, I guess you can say. I know Gordy has probably done more projects than any other parish president, but at the same time, he's taken a liking to making sure he's taking care of the coastal areas here in Terrebonne Parish. I see we have a vacancy currently on the board here, and with me stepping back from the board, resigning from the board, we'll have another vacancy. But I think I know a guy who's he's really asked me a lot about you guys here, and that's Mr. Alvin Tillman. So I think that would be a asset, or someone else who can, maybe add some value. He's been around the government here for a while, so I'm thinking that get his information. I'll get that resume and all that in, and see if we can get him.
I think so.
Carl, of course the council, but Carl Harding, he gave me the interest in that. So yeah. Triggs, yeah, that's what he and I talked today a little bit. I think he was appointed, but before he was a council for 12 years, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
I think it was 12 years. He did a term
Yeah.
before John Navy, actually. I think it was before John Navy.
Everybody on this board is appointed by council?
No.
No, ratified.
Ratified?
Yeah.
Two is the parish president, and the other 7 is the council.
Yeah.
So he can't remain on this board?
Not as an elected official.
I know you can't in Teeter, but I didn't know you couldn't in this.
Yeah, you can't. Right.
I'm not gonna vote for him next time.
We saw that, Brian.
I hear you. But again, guys, I do appreciate it. I
That's
do
a special
appreciate
kind
it.
of friendship, isn't it?
Oh man, I'm
Well,
waiting
you
until you
learned
get to
enough
number
in a
10.
little while you're here to know what the council's talking about.
Yeah,
Drainage or the-
exactly.
You gonna try to beat me on number 10? That's
Right,
what you
I'm gonna
say?
try my last day. I'm
You
gonna
got
try.
it.
Yeah.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot. I do
Thank you,
appreciate
Brian.
it.
We
We'll be
appreciate
seeing you
working
guys
with
for sure.
Yeah.
We'll be seeing you. All right.
Well, we didn't
We're
get
gonna
to
go
it.
around. Let's go
We
around.
didn't get to it yet.
Bobby, you have anything to add?
Nothing to add other than we need to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, Ernie, anything?
No.
Alright.
I'm gonna have to get off.
Jan?
I'm gonna have to get off of here because I'm in a motorcycle. Well, I gotta go to the next meeting.
You're not getting off that
I
easy.
was elected by those guys.
Brian, been a pleasure, and we have a motion adjourned by Brian and a second by Bobby.
Oh.
All in favor?
Is this been videoed or not? Has been taped, right?
It is safe.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.
All right.
Now I'm getting-